Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. That's the first thing I gotta say. First and foremost, Happy New Year. I hope it's a good one for everybody. There was no podcast last week, as you guys may have noticed, because I was just dead. After all the, running around for Christmas and all the obligations and the, family pictures and all that kind of stuff you do around the holidays, it gets to be a little much. It's always funny because I always look forward to Christmas because it's a fun time of the year, but it's also like exhausting. It's different than just having a day off. You know what I mean? When you have a day off, you're just like off, do your own thing and you chill. But usually around Christmas, you kind of have commitments and you got to do things. And it's not that they're not fun, but you still got to, it still takes time, effort, especially when you have children. It's even more so. It takes a lot of effort to get children ready and people to do anything and screaming and opening presents and all that. It's a lot of effort. So, in some ways, it's always glad to see it be done, but also it's kind of an exciting time of the year. And you want to also make it exciting for the kids just because, you know, it is exciting when you're a kid, and it sucks because when you're older you kind of just lose that, right? You lose that joy for Christmas. You lose that kind of wonder because everything's kind of, the scary real world is kind of revealed to you. And also, I don't know if I've noticed this, or I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but the Canada's kind of in the shitter right now in a lot of ways. So there's that, but we won't go into that. We're gonna try to stay a little bit more positive. It's okay, guys. Either way, yeah, Happy New Year, and let's start this thing. Welcome everybody back to Not Rich Just Bored, episode number 102. Yeah, we're in 2024. We made it. First podcast of the year. See, there's that dyslexia coming in. That's what happens when you have to work a full-time job. That's why it's up to you guys. You guys gotta get this show out there. Get me out of here. Get me paid. Christ's sakes. What the hell are you guys doing? I'm still working a 9 to 5. My PO telling me I need a 9 to 5, but I already got a job not staying alive. A little bit of young Jeezy for you kids out there. It's kind of crazy to me. Actually, this is just a random thought I just had, an intrusive one, if you will. But it just happened, and I was just thinking, like, when I was in high school, even middle school, maybe, songs like Young Jeezy and stuff like that, that was kind of like risque. It was pop, but it was risque, right? It was like the popular music at the time. Like, you were the popular crowd if you listen to that. And now, just nowadays, it's just, I don't think people would even know. Like, people wouldn't know who Akon are. Like, Akon, and I mean, well, apparently he's on the Epstein list, that's being released this year. So people might know who Akon is soon, if you know what I mean. Yeah, we're not going to really talk about that until it's released, but I don't know. Apparently they're going to release a list, but I'm very skeptical about it. I tend not to believe that stuff. Like, why would they release a list? It doesn't make sense. Either way, people that were huge when you were a kid, though, people have no idea, right? And even so with the older generation, like my parents would be like, you don't know good music, you don't know the Eagles, but I did know the Eagles, I did know the Eagles and all those bands, partially from listening to them with my parents, but also I just kind of knew them because their songs were popular. But I don't feel like our music when we grew up had as much staying power. Like the music of the 2000s is what I mean. The 90s obviously fucking ridiculous. The 90s is almost timeless. It's very strange. Like, all that music was just like, it's either a meme now or it's just so good that it's always going to be around. Like, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears, fucking Creed. It's always just gonna, it's huge. But like that early, like 2010, 2000 to 2010, that kind of era, I don't feel like people remember those people unless you were there. There obviously there's the big ones like Eminem and 50 Cent and all that stuff, but like nobody like looks back fondly and it's like, oh fuck, you remember that? That was so good. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it just hasn't been enough time. But even like kids now, there's Zoomers that, Zoomers know who Led Zeppelin is. Zoomers know. I mean, it's on their t-shirts, but it's on the t-shirts at Hot Topic. I know who Metallica is. It's the one on the t-shirt over at Hot Topic. That's how I learned about Metallica. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was a random thought I just had, but I'm like, nobody talks about it. I actually forgot that, like Akon, for example, forgot that was a person. Like, Lil Wayne, Lil Jon, like all those kind of rappers at the time, and they were huge at the time. Every school dance, man, we had them. But when you were at the school dance, it had to be like a censored version. So it was like fucking song cut out every 2 seconds because there was either you know an N word or a F word or a shit word, or it was kind of crazy. But I don't know, random intrusive thought. But also in this new year, I've noticed this trend going up, and I know what it's for, guys. So don't even tell me, because I know what it's for. It's for people are doing it for optics because it's a censored word. But I might have talked about this on here already, to be honest. I don't know. I'm going to talk about it again, though. Guess what? This whole unaliving thing. Can we just... I think I have made this. Now my muscle memory is collapsing here. I'm starting to remember. My hands are in the air. I'm like, I think I've had this rant before. But seriously, can we just stop with that? Can we stop changing words to make people comfortable or like what's going on? What are we doing? Like unaliving? Like there's so many, like it'll be like a podcast about a murder or some murder mystery podcast, and it'll be about like a suicide. Oh, Sarge! Sorry. FBI, open up. They're here. Sorry guys, I gotta go. Cutting the podcast early. No, but seriously, that's the word. And that word will apparently get you demonetized on social media, on like in videos. Like people have lost monetization over saying what is this, the second S word? Like shit is the S word, and we can say that now. So what's it? Or fuck, slut's a word too. Like we're gonna have to like number bad words now. This is the S 2.0 word. This is the S 3.0 word. But like you can't say it, and it's like there's the new word that people are saying is unaliving. And the reason they're doing it again is to block the it's the same reason people censor swears, so they don't get demonetized for swearing too much. And it's just like it's so bullshit these days, man. Why are we doing this? Why are we censoring language? And in this case, literally making up words, because other words hurt people's feelings, which then gets censored. Like you're saying the word, you're just saying unaliving, and like it hurts. It hurts to say that because it just sounds like fucking Southern hillbilly bullshit. Like yeah, Peter, he went on to the pasture last week. He unalived himself. He didn't want to live no more. Like that's what it fucking sounds like. And I'm getting worked up. I'm getting angry, and I'm sorry, but it's just how I feel. I'm in my angry old man phase. I'm in my boomer phase. It's just, you can't change things, guys. You got to stay the same always. All right. That's called consistency. not in everything, guys. Just in words. No, but like, in all seriousness, like, I mean, change is inevitable. Change is a good thing, but in this case, in this particular case, it's just stupid. It's just you're changing words, and it's same as the pronoun thing, the whole they them thing. You're just wrecking language. You're just wrecking basic language where it's just hello, my name is Cody. How are you? Oh, I'm good. That's good. That's regular language. That's like it's like Timmy is a boy. He went to the park. But now it's what are the new textbooks going to be? Timmy went to the park. They had a good time. Them went and got ice cream. Like, English is already the worst language in the world. Already, by far. Don't worry, guys. I understand. I'm self-aware. I'm an English speaker. Always have been since day one. Literally, I talked on day one out of the womb. I was like, goo goo gaga, give me some fucking titty milk, bitch. Okay, I didn't say that. Getting wound up here, guys. But you know, I've been an English speaker my whole life, but I'm willing to admit that English, I mean, while it's the universal language for most people, which is a good thing for me because I speak it, I will say, like, writing it and all that stuff, like they, or their, yeah, like different theirs, like it's a fucking nightmare. And like pronunciations of words, it's a nightmare. Like there's, just look it up. I'm sure people have videos already made about that shit. But like words are spelt and they sound different. It's a English is a mess. So it's already hard as hell to learn for anybody. Let alone now you're changing words and you're adding different, because like they and them it's a plural, right? It's meant to refer to, oh, they helped me. So more than one person helped me. And oh, who stole your money? Oh, it was them. And he pointed at somebody, like it was them, meaning, you know, if it's a guy, it's him. If it's a bunch of people, it's them. That's how it goes. But now that we're doing this fucking pronoun nonsense, it's like now, like you're referring to, like, are you two people? Is that what you are? Is that what's going on here? So I don't know. I'm excited to see the new school textbooks because they're probably going to make me very angry as a parent, and I'm probably going to throw them to the fucking wall, like John Dutton style. But I don't know. Either way, I don't like that change. Let's move on before I get too angry, guys. So I hope I have this habit of skipping over topics because I just like I get on a rant and I switch the I switch the topic and then I forget. That's why it's always good. It's almost a necessary thing for me to have like a co-host almost, because I always get off topic and I'm like, what the hell was I talking about? But either way, we're moving on. We're gonna move on to a hilarious thing that happened in China, which was China.
Charge complete.
Oh, thank you so much for telling me that. Fucking headphones. China, good old China, good old communist China. They took an L this week. It might have been last week. I think it was. It might have been last week. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I was reading it anyway. It was funny. But so China decided to put strict laws on their gaming market for like microtransactions of a lot of different kinds of microtransactions. Like I can't remember what it all was. I was reading. I just kind of skimmed it, but it was like they're taking out certain microtransactions, and then like, you know how mobile games will give you like a login boost and stuff. If you log in every day, it'll give you a little gems or whatever the hell you need. They got rid of that. So they got rid of a bunch of these microtransaction things in these mobile games and gaming in general, which, I mean, to me, that's actually a good thing because I'm like, fuck microtransactions and all that bullshit. But I could go on a 6-hour rant about that, but we're not going to do that. But unfortunately, if China was self-aware, which apparently they aren't, mobile gaming is fucking huge in China. Anybody, holy fuck! I'm gonna turn this phone off. I forgot to turn my phone off, and now it's beeping every 2 seconds, and I'm fucking pissed off. Sorry about that. All right, we're back, and yeah, China is huge for mobile gaming. Anybody, well, I want to say in Canada and like North America knows this, but I think the whole fucking world knows this because I have buddies that are from the Philippines, and they know because they play a couple games like Rise of Empires. I don't know. It's some Empire. I don't think it's Rise of Empires, but it's some Empire game where you build castles and you fight people. And he always talks to me about how his castle's doing. And then he always says, like, oh, these guys, he shows me the realm, and he's like, these guys are really powerful. They're gonna, mess up everybody in the realm because they're just so, like, they're ridiculously powerful, and they're the max level castle. And he's like, to get these max level castles this fast, because it's a new realm apparently. He said to get this, this fast without doing the daily. You know how everybody knows when it comes to mobile games, you grind it out, you just do your dailies and all that. That's how it works. And then you can pay to win, you can pay to get ahead, and that's how those freaking games are predatory. But guys will pay $300,000. We call them pay pigs, and lots of people do that shit. And that's what it costs. He said to get a castle that size that quick would be about $300,000 worth of resources in the game. So that's a lot. And that was the Chinese market. And I don't know what it is about the Chinese market. I know he was talking about because they actually get a discount on the stuff because their currency's worth less than our dollar, but also they get a discount there because the game is made in China. I don't know. I don't know if there's truth to that. That's just what he told me. But so they are always the most powerful. And I don't know why people do it, honestly. Like spend thousands of dollars on a mobile game for nothing. And I guess for bragging rights in that mobile game to be the big dick, like the big swinging dick. Like I don't personally get it, but maybe they're billionaires, millionaires, and are just waving around money just because they have it. I really don't know. But either way, Chinese people, there's lots of pay pigs for those mobile games. So when China decides to cut this shit, yeah, you're gonna see some stuff go down. So Tencent, one of the biggest production companies in China, they do movies and games and all kinds of junk. It was them and a couple of, I don't remember the other businesses' names, but it all added up to $80 billion. China lost $80 billion pretty much overnight because the Chinese, they changed their laws about microtransactions in these games. And I'm like, you guys are so fucking stupid and short-sighted. Like, what are you doing? How do you not know that you guys are like, your country is the biggest, like, that's one of your hugest revenues is mobile gaming. Like, and well, gaming in general, to be honest. Like, they have so many like competitive like LOL streamers and like League of Legends and all kinds of other games. Like, I don't know how they would ever think that would be a good thing, but now there's all this stuff coming out in Bloomberg and all the other, publications about how China is easing their restrictions on gaming. It's like, yeah, no shit, because you fucking lost a bunch of money, you dumbass. Like, like to me, it's, I don't know. Maybe well, I guess they should have their own analytics because they steal their own citizens' data and fucking sell it. I mean, you'd think they'd have more foresight about it, but like everybody knows that. Like everybody in the fucking world knows that. Because you ever go on any of those mobile games or a lot of those online games, it's all like a lot of top players are always Chinese guys because they're just like, I don't know why. There's just a high percentage of pay pigs in that country, I guess. And pay pig is not a, it's not a racial thing, guys, in case anybody's saying that. Pay pig is literally what you refer to as anybody who pays to win at a game. So it's just it's just a word that we use for anybody who pays a bunch of money into a game because you're essentially, it's a free game. You could get stuff for free, but you're choosing to pay, and oftentimes when those people pay, they pay a lot. So they're the pay pig, and that's why they fund those. That's why Fortnite's so successful. Free game, but everybody pays into it. And a lot of people, especially streamers and stuff, they want to have everything. They want to have every skin because you don't want to fall behind the trend. You want to be the cool trendy guy. You don't want to get caught with a default skin, bro. Fucking loser. So you want to get the latest, greatest $20 fucking loser skin. And then, yeah, got a big swinging dick and it makes you look cool. But either way, China apparently, they pulled her back a little bit. So good for them. I'm glad they were able to source that out in the end. But wow, like what a stupid decision. Because I don't. To me, that's very obvious. Because everybody knows that they've got the highest percentage of mobile gaming in the world. They're huge for it. But either way, let's move on. So China lost some money and they're getting it back. The other thing that was going on recently was the freaking, oh god. So everybody knows that Star Wars has not been good lately. Star Wars has had a problem. Well, let's go bigger. Let's go bigger than Star Wars. Let's just say Disney. Because Disney, here's the thing. Just for a quick recap on my feelings, which I've talked about extensively. Because I do not like Disney. I fucking hate Disney now. I grew up with them. I thought they were always good. A lot of their movies are timeless classics. Even their live action stuff in the 90s was real good. It's just they're family friendly and they're fun, and it was just a good time to be had by all. And just lately, the last probably decade, definitely the last 5 years, especially when streaming became a thing, I don't know what happened, but Disney got huge into the zeitgeist of like wokeness. And I don't even like using that word anymore because it's just a buzzword, right? It's a right-wing buzzword, but it's the only way to really describe what is going on with those companies. They're trying to appeal to the very vocally dominant, I'll say, not really dominant, just vocally dominant left-wing extremist types. And they're just pandering. That's what they're doing. Everything Disney does is to pander to that group of people. And it's just become so obvious that Disney has kind of become a joke. Every movie they've released recently has been an absolute shitter. It's been absolutely destroyed. They are losing money at a ridiculously alarming rate. It's because nobody gives a fuck anymore. The Marvel movies were hype. They were good until Endgame. And then Endgame ended, and all of our favorite actors like Iron Man, like RDJ and Chris Evans, a lot of them just hung their characters, obviously kind of like Chris Evans kind of died off screen, I guess, and then RDJ literally died, so they were written out because we knew it was their last movie, so we knew something was going to happen. And the story with Thanos came to an end, and everything kind of had a nice bow on it. It was good. And it was just kind of it. That was the end of the superhero thing, right? And The Boys kind of has its own thing, and The Boys is a good show, and Invincible, but they kind of do their own thing, so they're unique, right? But as far as the Marvel family-friendly type superheroes, it's people were just kind of over it, right? They're over it after that. At least I was, but I think a lot of people agree with me. And I really haven't kept up with the Marvel stuff since because a lot of it's been just trash. A lot of it's been like really forgettable, just bullshit. And part of the reason for that is because Disney acquired them and has just really, they're just shitting the bed. Because by trying to appeal to this group so hard, you're killing off a bunch of your fan base. Because the problem is it's not well written. It's just obviously pandered. That's all they've done with all their shit. And Star Wars, that was the beginning of their shit. They tried to do this whole thing with Rey, right? The new female protagonist, right? Which is fine. I don't think anybody had a problem with that. I certainly didn't. When I walked into episode 7, I was so fucking hyped for that movie. Like, the bad guy looked badass, and I like what the hell's his name? Who played him? Fuck. Ben Swallow, who played him? Who played Ben? I'm going blank here. It was Adam Driver. Yes, that's who it is. And Matthew Wood played him in Lego Star Wars, apparently. Shout out to Matthew Wood. Yeah, Adam Driver. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. I'm tired today. It's at 9 to 5, guys. You got to get me off that. Start sharing the show with your friends. We got to boost it up. It's 2024. It's the year of the #1 podcast in Canada. next to the old Justin Trudeau podcast. That'll be number one for sure. That's not a real thing. Well, I hope not. Anyway, the Justin Trudeau podcast is pretty much the Congress shit every day. He did do one during COVID though. That was when, he had to address the public every day. Be like, yeah, masks still. Okay, moving on. Have a good day. Either way, it's not gonna track here. But, they had a badass enemy, and Adam Driver's a good actor. That was kind of his first big role. And, I still stand by what I said before, that he didn't look menacing enough without the helmet on. So I think one of the biggest problems they did with him in episode 7 was that they didn't let him. Vader kept his mask on through the whole thing till the very end. Then you got that payoff. You're like, oh my god, that's what he looks like under there. That's crazy. But he was human after all. It's crazy. But with Kylo Ren, they did this whole different thing where they kind of humanized him and took his mask off right away. And I'm like, what the fuck's the point of the mask? And then he kind of just ditched the mask, except for when he was commanding troops. Like, it was weird. And it just kind of ruined that character for me in a lot of ways. But the whole Rey thing, the obvious thing is that people don't like her because she's a woman. That's what people say. But it's like, no, that's not why people didn't like Rey. Because again, I was excited for episode 7. I wanted it to be good. And I thought it was not too bad watching it. But the problem I had was the more they did the sequels, they just made her overpowered for no reason. The whole episode 7, oh, well, she tinkers with things, so she knows how to work BB-8 and repair them, and she works for junk salvaging stuff. Okay, I get it. That's cool. That makes sense. That's her whole thing. But she was never trained in combat. She's never trained with a lightsaber. But all of a sudden, they're trying to say that she can beat a guy who is trained by a Sith just because she's the chosen one. And I get the whole force balancing thing. Don't even start with that. There's the whole, people have told about, there's the whole thing that George Lucas said, that the force is about balance. So anytime it's unbalanced on the good or bad side, somebody has to rise up to be stronger, which I get it. That is his lore. That's fine. And that does make sense. But still, that doesn't account for swordsmanship or anything like that. But I don't know. It was the whole, I think it was her whole, like, they want her to be the strong female lead. And it's like, that's fine. But like, you have to account for that. If they had like a whole montage of like her training for like 2 years or something with Luke, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, she's going to be a badass person with a saber. And I guess that, they had the whole thing of her using that staff thing to fight with. So, I mean, I guess that would have helped, but still, no training can prepare you like a real training with a lightsaber, with a Jedi or a Sith. So just, I don't know, that stuff didn't make sense to me. I didn't like the pacing. I didn't like the way they did that. I didn't like a lot of the characters, the way they did them. It just, they did a lot of things that were just blatantly just to be inclusive and woke, and people just caught on. People caught on through this whole thing. But with the new Star Wars that's coming down the pipe, and well, before I talk about that, the biggest problem I have with Disney too, not only their need to be woke and try to keep up with all those talking points, is also the amount of content they're trying to release. It's just too much. Nobody wants to another reason people don't want to watch Marvel shit anymore is because you can't just watch Marvel stuff anymore. You got to watch, did you watch WandaVision? Did you watch Winter Soldier? Did you watch 6 other fucking shows that nobody wants to watch? Did you watch Loki? Like, there's like 100 shows on Disney Plus that you got to watch. And you got to have a Disney Plus subscription. That's important. And then the same happened with Star Wars. There's like a bunch of different Star Wars spin-offs that they try to do. And a lot of them are failing. Some of them were good. Like the Obi-Wan wasn't too bad. But that was a mini series. That wasn't really an actual series. But yeah, like that wasn't too bad because they actually got the original guys back. But like, I hate the whole, when it comes to Star Wars, I hate the whole argument that people don't like the new episodes because Rey's a woman. It's like, no, it's because you destroyed a lot of our favorite characters. Like, they killed off Han Solo, which, again, I kind of figured they would, because, he's like, Harrison Ford's not going to be around forever. And he's quite old. So I figured that his character would, eventually get replaced, or they get rid of him somehow, because he's probably going to die. But, still, you killed off a beloved character, and then the other beloved character, Luke, who, like, even Mark Hamill himself has come out and talked about how disappointed he was with the way they wrote Luke. He's like, he's a recluse on an island, and I remember Mark Hamill being like, Luke would have never given up. Luke was if you look at episode, 4, 5, and 6, Luke was always the most hopeful character of all of them. He was always like, he's the reason that the Force got balanced, because he brought hope, and he literally turned his father, like, to that, a little bit too late, might add, but he made him have a change of heart about his decisions. Like, that's how powerful he was as a character and how hopeful he was. And he never lost that. But then in this one, they have like him doing like a milk bit. And just like, I don't know. To me, they treated his character almost like a joke. And it didn't sit right with me. And the whole idea of him like wanting to kill Ben Solo, and because he saw a dark side, I don't know. I just did not buy his character. And neither did fucking Mark, apparently. But I'm sure he got paid well for it, so that's why he did it. But, it's just, when people see their beloved characters and they just get fucking written like shit, people are going to have an issue with it. And that's what happened. And again, there's this new Star Wars stuff that's coming out. It's going to be directed by a lady called Charmin Obaid Chinoy. I hope I'm saying that right. But like, she did Chinoy. Hold on, when was this? Yeah, because she's going to be doing, I think, a new they want to do a new trilogy or something, is what they're doing. Yeah. Yeah, no, she's gonna be in charge of it. But there's this new video about her talking about how she's a feminist, and she was on this feminist panel, and she was talking about how she likes to make men feel uncomfortable. And I'm like, I mean, I know obviously, guys, there's no such thing as this, but if there was something called toxic femininity, that would be it, right? They always talk about toxic masculinity, but the thing is, what people got to realize now is that men who are masculine are the most successful. They just are. Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take the guns of our enemies. We're supposed to take the wounds for the family. We stand in front. Who got the guys? Listen up. Who got to board the lifeboats in the Titanic? Was it the men first? I don't know, guys. I'm pretty sure it was the women and children, right? All right. Okay. That's what happens. All right. Men, because we are physically stronger, that's just, people get this whole rant all day. Well, they're strong women. Yes, I know. Yes. They're also weak men. Yes. Correct. But typically speaking, men are stronger than women. Our physicality is that's just how we're made. Sorry, guys. That's reality. But that comes at a price. When you're a man, your job is to protect your family. When it was wartime, it was your job to go to war. That's just how it was. And same with that Titanic thing. It was women and children first in an emergency, always. And then the men stayed behind to either fight or in the Titanic case, die. So it's just, the thing is, yes, people can be toxic with their behaviors, but just being a man is not toxic. But if you had a man saying shit like that, like this lady is saying, like, can you imagine if there was a man saying, "Yeah, I'd like to make women feel uncomfortable"? They'd be like, "Ah, you're a fucking rapist. Get the hell out of here!" Like, no, you'd be fucking crucified. So I don't buy this whole "I like to make men uncomfortable" thing. I think that's very arrogant and stupid. And I know, and before people scream at me, I do know the context of it. She's saying like her ideals. She doesn't mean literally like, "I like to just stare at you and fucking ugh, stare you down till you fucking wet your pants, you little sissy bitch boy." No, it's she doesn't mean it like that. She means that she likes to make them feel uncomfortable with her ideas of feminist. Like, look at me, I'm gonna be a powerful woman. Aren't you uncomfortable about that, you bigoted bastard? Go back to the gym, you big fucking Hulk bitch. You Sam Sulik watching asshole. Like, that's what she means. She thinks that she's making men uncomfortable with her ideas. And she likes that. But I mean, yeah, you probably are making some men uncomfortable with them, but it's just like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to, like, people can be successful if they're women. I think. I've never seen it any other way. Like, I think, if you're a woman, you can get jobs, you can do things. In fact, if you know about a little, this is kind of a different job, but if you know about a little site called OnlyFans, you guys can make a lot more money than any man could ever dream of. A lot easier too. But you know, there's a downside to that too, as we've talked about before. It's you know, probably ruin the rest of your social life, and your kids will never be able to search your name ever again on the internet. But you know, still, it's an avenue of revenue that's not open to men. In fact, some people don't even show their face on those. Those are the smart people, because if you can get away with just showing off your body and getting guys to click on it, but you don't ever have to show your face so nobody knows who you are, you're making bake. It's the way to do it, because then there's no terrible downside. That's why those freaking, what are those streamers called? Those um oh fuck, I'm just brain dead right now, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm brain dead. What is it called? It's where they have the anime avatar streamers. The fuck is it called? God damn it. Oh, I think it was right there. VTuber. That's what it is. Yeah, VTuber. Yeah. It's the VTubers, yeah. Where they have the, if you haven't seen it, just look it up. VTubers. It's just people that are, it's literally just it's facial tracking software, and sometimes it's really intricate. Sometimes it's full body tracking, like hands and stuff. But it's just most usually it's just facial tracking, and it just tracks your face onto usually it's an anime person that they make, and then it just tracks your face onto it, and then it looks like, instead of when you watch a Twitch streamer and they got the little head cam, it's just an anime avatar, and it blinks when they blink, and the mouth opens when they talk, and it's just, and in most cases it's a girl, so the boobs jiggle when they jump up and down stuff. They do it, but like, those people are smartest of us all, because they don't even have to, show their face at all. They could be just like naked and ugly as fuck, and doesn't matter. My anime avatar is hot, so we got her locked in here, boys. But either way, I I don't really have hope for the new Star Wars thing. I think that people just need to comment on all the anti-man rhetoric, right? It's just like, let men be men, because I guarantee, guys, if you got rid of all the masculine men in the world, you're gonna fucking regret it. You just will. Who are you gonna have saving your kid from a burning building? you know? And it could be a woman. It could be a woman. I will say that, yes, firefighters can be firemen and firewomen, but they're almost mostly men because when you're carrying people out of a burning building, you need to be quite strong. I know I certainly couldn't fucking do it. You know, all those jobs that are hard, you need those masculine men to do them, to help society, build society.
Charge complete.
Carpenters. Yeah, thank you. You fucking mentioned that earlier. My headphones charge complete again. Thank you. Just throw those things in a fucking garbage. But either way, what I'm saying is you need those guys to do like roofers and oil, infrastructure, everything, It requires those strong men to put in those fucking hours. So if you have a world without masculine men, like you're gonna be in trouble. The world's gonna be in real danger. Because, as much as all these boss gals on YouTube and whatnot doing either streaming or doing like makeup reviews and fashion and all that stuff, that's cool. I'm glad you guys are making money, and I think that's awesome to do something creative. But if we run out of all these supposed toxic men, who's gonna save you when your apartment's on fire? All right. It's I don't think the nail YouTubers are going to be going after you. I don't think the VTubers or any of that stuff. I don't think they're going to be going and saving you from a hostage situation. I think you're going to be screwed. So I don't know. I don't really understand the whole hatred on men and stuff in that society's doing now. But either way, I think it's going to be a good year, guys. I kind of want to talk more about resolutions, but I ended up going off on some tangents here. But this is going to be a good year. I definitely want to focus on a lot of fitness and just getting back to being healthy. I've had some back problems because I'm not a big strong man right now. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I could do a lot better. I need to be a lot stronger than I am. So I just want to work on myself this year. I want to go full focus mode, get in the gym, get some reps in, and I think this is going to be a huge year. It's going to be a huge year for, I think, the podcast. And I think it's going to be a huge year for the YouTube channel in general and my overall fitness. Because as my fitness gets better, my mental clarity will be better. My whole outlook on life will be better. And I think that's going to be really important for not only myself, but also for you guys, for listeners, because you're going to get better quality out of me. I won't be fucking dragging my ass. I won't be tired as much. Well, I'll probably be more tired for, the first little bit, but after that, it's just you're going to get that energy back. Get those methylated vitamins in your system and you'll be fine. But either way, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. So again, sorry for missing the podcast last week. I was just wiped out. But we're going into the new year strong. First podcast on the 4th of January, coming at you strong. So thank you guys, as always, so much for listening. Remember, all links to social media are in the description below. And I will see you next week. Bye, guys.